maybe surprisingly, but 500 million is not that much. So
that's all I've got.
If you think about it, you can probably buy 20 assets or so with that money, and that's hardly enough to have to buy diversified logistics exposure. So it comes back to what we have said earlier. You need to have a wider pan-European platform, in my view. And obviously that's the approach that we have taken. We have people on the ground, offices on the ground, that really understand the local markets, are close to the tenants, and that way you create your relationships with your tenants across different markets, but also you can start creating some critical mass, operational efficiencies, and so on. So I would say I would invest it in an existing platform.
But would you invest it in, are there particular countries that are a favourite, particular locations? If you're going to invest that money for me, given your portfolio that you've already got, what will be the next 500 million ones that you would do on my behalf? Well, I think are there favourite areas that you think are going to bring higher returns than others in the next 12 months, let's say?
It's a matter of high returns. It's a matter of being in the right locations over the long term. But so I think mostly some of the locations that we have mentioned before. I still very much favor core Western Europe, Poland. Potentially Scandinavia can be interesting because of the strength in the economy. Although we see that. Capital values obviously are quite a bit higher than what we see in the rest of continental Europe. There will be some point in the cycle where Southern Europe will become more interesting again, in my view. Although today I don't feel very comfortable taking substantial releasing risk, for instance, in a market like Spain. And then again, it comes back to the micro locations, to the regions where you are. So it's there's several countries whereby on a macroeconomic level, for instance, if you look at France, macro level, you don't see a lot of growth happening. But then if you look at more regional levels, you see quite different pockets of growth within certain regions, differences in terms of employment growth and so on. So I think it's really the regional focus which is important.
Okay, great. Joseph, what would you do with my money?
London, Rotterdam, Hamburg, Warsaw, Lyon, Barcelona, Milan.
Very succinct, thank you very much.
That's the sort of answer.
Christian.
Well, fortunately,
haven't seen the money yet.
Yeah, we're going to raise a second fund later this year, so you'll have a wonderful opportunity to invest with us. I agree with these guys. Scale and everything is important, but I do still think there's room for sort of niche asset managers, and I think the alpha is as important as the beta, and I think careful stock selection across a wide range of developers is also can deliver very good returns for investors. So I'd encourage you to come with a focused investor. In terms of geographies, echoing some of what Joseph said, would stick with our UK Benelux focus, and then probably add in Northern Germany and Hamburg. We still think the fundamentals around Rotterdam, Antwerp, the UK Golden Triangle, London, the sort of southwest, are very compelling, and we think that there are good opportunities to outperform the market through careful underwriting and prudent investment.
Okay, good, thank you, James. Lastly, you.
A bit of a combination of strategies. I'm going to try and please everyone. A combination of strategies. I think to get some good core income return in one of the big diversified platforms, I think there is a great opportunity in build-to-suit development pipeline at the moment. Whoever you might team that money up with, and a proportion of 500 million in a JV with someone else that's got skin in the game and some debt involved on a development return basis in good locations looks very, very appealing. And I think all the risks around construction and development are mispriced at the moment. I've mentioned that. And I think working with some of the main occupiers as well, actually, directly, I think there are some very interesting opportunities there in good, solid locations that are just off core, maybe, and some of the ones that I mentioned earlier, where the vacancy rates are around 10% rather than sub 5%.
Great. And all that remains is really to say thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much to the panel. Thank you.